Welcome back. This is Cito with Mass Conversation. Thank you guys so much for subscribing. Please like, share, subscribe to the channel right there. Have a special guest. I saw her online. Her channel is thenurserx.
The Nurse RX.
Yeah, she has a lot of great tips, and I feel like she's actually one of those channels that a lot of mothers or even fathers or even just parents can learn how she teaches her son and how she's able to educate him and, well, I guess say what, teach, right?
I do homeschooling with my son. He's been homeschooling now since off and on since the beginning of March 2020, and we all know what happened during that time frame. But for the past 2 years, he's been specifically homeschooling through our local county.
So what made you decide to homeschool Caleb?
There are several reasons why I decided to homeschool. The first reason my husband and I chose to homeschool is because we know the country that we live in,
Hmm.
and we watch the news, not as much as we would like to watch news, but we do watch the news. And we've noticed when we watch the news of mass shootings at schools and
Mm.
things of that nature, and it's like, God, these parents don't leave and go to work and drop their kids off at school every day thinking to themselves, I'm dropping my child off at school. I'm going to bring my child home. Some parents, unfortunately, don't get to bring their child home. And that literally, I don't want to say it put fear in us, but it's definitely made us dig deeper into say, why not? Why shouldn't we, or why can't we homeschool our child? This is something that's not new. It's been going on for decades now. Now that we have our own child, we decided this is the best course of action
Hmm.
for us, not only because of the mass shootings, but another reason is there's a lot of bullying going on in
Yeah,
schools.
that's true.
We've noticed it from when my child has not been bullied specifically, but we did notice with other kids in his classroom.
Hmm.
We've also noticed when he was younger, when he was in VPK, he did experience this one thing when he was just 2.
Hmm.
But even as a 2-year old, we know our own child where I took him to school one day. I went to pick him up that same day at school,
Hmm.
and he's in the corner sitting by himself.
Hmm.
And I asked the teacher, why is my child separated from other children?
Mm.
And she was like, oh, he just wants to sit by himself today. I'm like, that
Mm.
he's 2. He doesn't make that decision.
Right,
You
right,
have to bring him back.
right.
So the very next day,
Hmm.
I go to drop him off at school,
Hmm.
and the teacher, I mean, I'm sorry, as we're getting out the car,
Hmm.
I'm sorry, my son
Hmm.
is afraid. He
Mm.
doesn't want to go to school. I'm like, are you ready to go to school today? He's like, no,
Oh, that
no.
sounds like a warning sign to me.
And I'm like, he's 2. Why is he telling me no? He's
Mm.
around. He's not around other kids in the daytime. He's an only child.
Right.
So we get to the parking lot. I park my car. I'm like, why don't you want to go to school?
Hmm.
And he tells me the teacher's name, and he starts to hit his leg. And I'm like,
Mm.
what is that? I'm like, what happened?
Right.
And he goes, I'm gonna just say a person's name. Nisa hit, and he's hitting his leg.
Mm.
I know my child. I'm not slow. I'm not dumb. Far from it. I know what that means. I
Hmm.
go to confront or talk to the administrative staff in his school. They're like, oh, we don't think that really happened, but we'll review the videotapes to see exactly what happened. Now,
Mm.
my child was in this school for 6 months at this time.
Hmm.
So you're telling me that you're going to review 8 hours worth of videotapes in 4 hours, 3 hours. They literally called me back 3 hours later saying that they reviewed 8 hours worth of videotapes in 3 hours
Ah.
over the course of 6 months. So after dealing with that and pulling my child out of the school and trying to get DCF involved, who was clearly no help at all,
Right.
I was like, no, I know if my child's at home, he's safe.
Right.
He's not getting bullied by children,
Right.
nor is he getting bullied by teachers, because teachers can be bullies as
That's
well.
true. That's
So
true.
that's another reason. Another reason we chose to homeschool our child is we know what we can instill in him.
Right.
For example, we know if you're going to a public school, which he was attending at the time, he still attends a public school just through our local county.
Right.
He's not getting Bible-based teachings. I do that at home,
Right.
and he loves that. I know that he's not been exposed to things that he doesn't need to be exposed to.
Right.
And just making sure that his character as a child is preserved.
So how do you balance as far as kid? How old is he now?
He's 10 years old.
So how do you balance as far as with him being homeschooled and having that interaction with other different kids? How do you actually have that balance?
Well, he gets that balance a lot. Even though he is homeschooled, he's an only child right now.
Hmm.
He has a lot of other interactions. We have a plethora of play dates with his friends throughout the neighborhood. A benefit of being a homeschool kid is you have the opportunity to meet other kids who are homeschooled in your local
Oh,
community
okay.
during school hours. So he's not locked up at home all the time. You know, he gets to go out, he gets to experience things. We take him to the library for events to pick out books. We also have him enrolled in martial arts.
Mm.
We plan on getting him enrolled into soccer
Well,
lessons soon.
I was actually in martial arts when I was younger. My mother, I was in martial arts for 2 weeks. 2 weeks. It was a good 2 strong weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And do you know what happened?
What happened?
I had my white belt,
Mm-hmm.
and all of a sudden I'm getting dressed, and my mom, I'm asking my mother, I'm like, hey, are we going to karate school? And she just took me out of school. And I guess it was that 2 weeks was just free. So I was like, I was on that little free testimonial thing. After they started to charge money, they was like, oh, that's it. So
Mm.
I didn't get a chance to
Yeah.
experience the whole, karate martial arts thing. So it's good that you're able to,
Yeah.
do those things for your son.
Yeah, he absolutely loves it. He's been in martial art. Well, let me backtrack. Before March 2020, we all know what happened during that time frame. He was in
Hmm.
martial arts. He loved martial arts, but we had to take him out once, the world changed.
Mm,
Now, as of last year, he expressed interest again and
right.
wanted to go back to martial arts. So we signed him back up. He's been doing it now for about 3-4 months.
Okay.
And so he's not only learning how to protect himself, but he's also learning about character.
Right.
He is also learning how to still interact with other people,
Right.
adults, children, and just good core characters development.
Okay.
And so those are some other things that we're doing with him as well. And he's
So,
also
oh, sorry, I'm gonna cut you off. So, were you homeschooled as well?
no, I was not homeschooled. I was in public school all of my life from kindergarten up until the 12th grade year, and I also went to a public university.
Oh, what,
So
what
yeah,
university did you go to?
University of Central Florida,
Oh, that's actually a pretty,
Fighting Knights.
pretty big school.
Yes.
Okay, awesome. So, with you being a mother, a wife, and did you graduate college?
I did.
Oh,
I graduated college in whew, two.
a long time ago, probably. I won't actually, because that probably show your age, right?
I'm not. I'm not. Look, I'm very proud of my age. I am 43 years young
Black don't crack.
at all, honey. It's very smooth. I'll be 44 in April. I graduated college in 2003
Okay.
with my nursing degree. And then I went to obtain my master's degree, and I have a master's in business administration as well.
Masters of Business, MBA?
MBA all day.
MBA. You go ahead. Like, it's, I must congratulate you because I know
Thank
it's
you.
just hard, just even being a person of color to be able to achieve these things with all the odds against you.
Yes, it's very hard. Not only being a person of color, but being a woman.
Mm,
Those things are typically frowned upon in regards to advancement.
right,
Even with as a nursing with a nursing degree
right,
and with a master's in business administration, I chose to become a stay-at-home mom.
right,
That's my first passion. Nursing was a season in my life
right.
because I'm still able to utilize those skills with my own family.
Hmm.
And also, with the nurse RX, I get to educate others.
That's
So it's
good.
not just locally, I hopefully I'm impacting people worldwide.
Yeah, I was watching. I don't know how I came across. Well, I do know how I came across your channel. I'm actually about to become a father. Very first time father. Thank you
Congratulations.
so much. Nervous, don't know what to expect, and somehow I see Nurse RX, and I'm like, okay, let me just click on her channel, and then I started seeing your channel. Then I think there was a link, and I think your son has a channel as well.
Yes.
And I'm like, man, he has this video on his channel where he's um, talking. He talks very well.
Thank you.
So I was sitting there, I'm like, okay, like she actually has a lot of information that I could probably use when it comes to having my kid and how I should raise my kid. Because nowadays it's almost as if sometimes when you watch YouTube
Mm-hmm.
and you see these young kids that can quote Future back to back. I've seen a video. I've seen a video, of several videos, but one in particular the other day, where the kid was in the back seat. The kid was probably maybe 4 or 5 years old, and the mom was sitting there recording. And when I tell you word for word about
Wow.
Future,
Wow.
and I'm like, and they think it's cute.
It's not
and,
cute.
and I was looking at the comments. I'm like, everybody's like, oh, that's so nice, and oh, and I'm like, well, you know, I don't agree with it.
Yes.
So
Yes.
what do you think about that as far as when it comes to kids and the music that, if you're driving in a car, what are your whole interpretations as far as like, should parents have their kids listen to this type of music, or like, how do you feel about that?
Well, the music now, look, I'm from the old school.
Mm-hmm.
So the music that's out nowadays, I can't tell you who the latest rapper is.
Mm.
I've heard of Future. I can't tell you one song by Future, but I know that I've read some of the lyrics.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not impressed at all because it's nothing that's uplifting. If
Mm.
anything, it's taking these children, even adults,
Mm-hmm.
down a black hole.
Mm-hmm.
My son does listen to secular music. I'm not one of those parents who are like, you just gotta listen to certain. No, 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 because I live in the real world.
Mm-hmm.
However, I am very particular about what type of music he listens to if it is secular.
Mm-hmm.
My child, he's an old school child like me. He listens to what we listen to.
Okay.
He can sing an Earth, Wind, and Fire song every day.
Hold on. Yeah,
all day.
You're not just gonna throw that in there like I didn't catch that. You said Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Earth, Wind, and Fire. He can get down with the best of them. He'll get up and dance to New Edition every day,
Okay.
all day. It's clean music. It's not raunchy. It's not degrading to women.
Right.
It's not pushing drugs.
Right.
It is clean, wholesome music that families can dance to and families can sing to.
So it almost seems like you have to pretty much mold your kid at an early age.
You do.
Because I mean, obviously, at some point, they're teenagers and they get older. You can only do so much, but you still want to prepare your kids, as far as with their mindset, because a lot of these songs, they can influence your kids.
Extremely.
So I know when I have my son, I know I'm going to be having some R&B or some nice mellow music, because I definitely want to give them an opportunity to not, I don't want to say fail, but I feel like we're setting our kids up for failure when we're actually giving them all of that information that they shouldn't know, and now they're out there eventually doing what they don't supposed to be doing.
No, but you said it right the first time. There are a lot of new artists out here, and in my personal opinion, there are some that may disagree with me, but this is just my opinion. It is failing our children, because what does it benefit them to hear about twerking and booty shaking and drugs and like what do they get from that? And you got to keep in mind, you're probably saying, well, it's not for the children, but the children are listening to it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And you're like, well, that's their parents' responsibility, but you're still putting it out there.
Right.
So whether now your child's not going to be under you all day long. So if they're not under you and they listen to this, they're going to be hearing things that mama may not know how the child learned about this. Daddy may not know, but you're still feeding that into our children. Perfect example. What's the little boy's name? Little Nas or Oz X?
Little Nas X. Didn't he? Yeah.
He's the devil.
Yeah.
He's the devil.
Yeah.
How are you going to come out with a song that is like kids are going to, they played these at schools.
Yeah.
like during, children's field days and activities for the kids. What was the name of the song? Something in regards to Old Town Road or something like that.
Right. Yeah.
So now you've gathered the flock. You've gathered the children.
Yep.
Guess what? I've got my flock. So now you're following Little Nas X.
Yep.
What does he do? He flips the script. I've got my flock now. They know who I am. And guess what? They're going to keep following me.
It's like it kind of reminds me of what is that thing? The little boy flute. The boy who's playing the flute. It's
the Pied Piper.
Pied Piper or something.
Yeah, like let all the little children or something like. Yeah, it's like like bro, it's like it's just it's weird.
I think it's definitely weird. I think the industry, I don't know. I don't want to get too far into it, but yeah, I feel like God can maybe change him and just pray for just pray for him.
It's gonna take a lot of prayer.
Yeah,
but so I'm willing to put in the work.
So can you take us on a day as far as when it comes to your son? Like, how do you prep? Like from the time you get up until like he gets out. Like what is your day like?
Oh, my day starts very early. Me personally, I like to rise 5:30. It's critical for me to start my day early. Mm-hmm. That way, when it's time for my son to rise, I've had some time with me and God. That's how I have to start my day. I wake my son up around 6:30 in the morning. For some, it's like for a homeschool kid, just let him know. Because if he was going to a regular school, he'll be at school at 7:00 in the morning. Mm-hmm. So you're going to stay on the same schedule as if you are going to a brick and mortar. Mm-hmm. So I wake him up at 6:30, nice hot breakfast every morning. Mm-hmm. We're upstairs ready to rock and roll no later than 7:30. We start our day. I always plan a week before as to what we're going to be going down for each single day. Okay. He covers every single subject.
How many classes does he take?
6 classes.
Okay.
He takes the core ELA, math, social studies, science, and for his extra courses, he's taking Spanish and computer science.
Okay.
So we start our day with the topic that he likes to start with first, because it makes my day and his day go smoother. Okay. That way he's knocking out his fun class first.
Oh, okay.
And then I get to the classes that he may not enjoy so much, like ELA and math, but we still do those. We do break it up in between.
ELA?
ELA is language arts.
Okay.
So it's like reading, comprehension, understanding, things of that nature.
Okay.
We'll break up the day. We'll get up. Either we'll go outside and do walks, or we'll go to the park, or we will. My son loves to do Taibo. Look, mommy's trying to stay in shape. You're going to sit here and rock with me. We're going to do some Taibo in the middle of the day. So we get up and do our physical activity in between, or he'll do a brain break in between. We'll hit the rest of the subjects. And we're always doing the longest subjects last. Because if I put them first, it's going to drag the day out. Mm-hmm. So we always do those classes at the very end.
Okay. So do you have any type of, like as far as like someone who has a child that's having like a learning curve? Mm-hmm. Like what could they actually do, like as far as, let's say, when it comes to like English or math, mm-hmm. or anything that you can kind of like give them some type of tips on to how to keep the kid focused?
As far as keeping your child focused, I know for my son, and just watching some of his other classmates interact with the teacher, you have to keep it fun and interesting for him. Okay. They're elementary school kids, mm-hmm. and they learn a lot by games, interactions, things of that nature.
Okay.
So you can't just sit here and be very, very regimented. Okay. You have to get them up. Make the assignment out of a game.
Okay.
I have a big whiteboard in my classroom, my homeschool classroom, where I make him get up and do the math problems. And not just do the math problems. For mm-hmm. him, it has to be a game. Mm-hmm. But he has to turn his math into a battle. That's the only way, not the only way, but that's the way that he understands the concept and it sticks. So I have to make it fun for him.
That's very, very interesting. I see him crawling behind me on the floor.
Yes, son, go sit down. Thank you.
Being a stay-at-home mom, I know it must be tough because now my wife is pregnant and now I'm cooking a little bit. I'm like, man, I didn't even realize how much like work just to be on my feet for maybe trying to cook a good meal for maybe 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And I might do it maybe once or twice a week, but
Mm.
doing it every day, I know it's probably a job on its own that people don't realize.
Oh, look, being a stay-at-home parent, being a stay-at-home spouse it's it's very rewarding.
Hmm.
However, it does come with a lot.
Hmm.
Some people are like, "Oh, I'd rather go to work than stay at home." Well, do that.
Right.
But for those of us who's called to do this, we know it has to be a calling for us.
Right.
So before I even became a stay-at-home parent,
Hmm.
this is something that I longed for even before I met my husband. So
Hmm.
coming into our relationship, now turned marriage, from day one, he
Hmm.
knew this is what I wanted. And now, if you're on the same page as me, then we can keep moving forward. If not, let's just keep moving on.
Hmm.
But it does come with a lot because now you're the cook.
Hmm.
Now you are the homeschool teacher. Now I'm the nurse within the home. I'm the counselor. I'm the everything. I'm the
Probably the
chef.
accountant too
I'm
as
the
well.
account. I handle every financial thing that comes into this house.
Now listen,
My husband has
when
to.
when she says financial, now let's get something. I walked up in this house, and as you guys can see, they have their own movie theater. Movie theater. I wish I could just sit there and just do it. I got a hockey table over here, a big old screen over there. I mean, you guys are. I mean, this neighborhood is clean, clean, like
Well,
clean.
look, we're trying. We're trying. We ain't trying to be like the Joneses. We trying to be like who we
Well, if
are.
you try, I'm
But
not trying hard enough. That's what I know. I'm
but you
not.
know what?
Hmm.
We didn't start here.
Hmm.
We got here.
Okay.
My husband, once we got married, my husband was very, very comfortable.
Hmm.
No, when we first got married,
Hmm.
he had to learn how to let go of the finances.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I got this. Trust me. Before I met you, I did very well in knowing how to. If it meant ramen noodles every day a week,
Hmm.
I won't let you live like that. But that's
Right.
what I did.
Right.
So eventually, he learned to let go, and now he's let me take off with it. He has to ask me when he gets paid every week, every 2 weeks. He's like, "Did I get paid today?" But I'm like,
Yeah.
"Yes, baby, you got
Yeah.
paid today."
Yeah.
Because I am very, very. I'm an aggressive saver,
Hmm.
and I've learned how to manage money very, very well. I'm not perfect, but I've
Hmm.
learned how to manage it very, very well.
Okay.
So
Now, if you guys are still following, please like, subscribe to her channel. It's the Nurse RX. I'll have it popped up here on the screen for you guys. She has a great channel. I feel that you guys should just share the information that we're providing today. Is there something that you could probably say to the viewers as far as when it comes to like either parenting or anything as far as when it comes to God or whatever?
I'm a Christian. So above everything, God, family, everything else, always keep God first in your life. If you keep God in the center of your life and everything you do, it will literally take you places that you've never been before. I've tried the whole thing where God, you know what, you're taking too long right now. I can speed this up, and my life was a crash course.
Mhm.
So keep God first in your life. Let Him lead the way. It may not go as fast as you want it to go, but I can promise you, if you just let Him take the reins, you will experience life as you've never experienced it before. It will not be perfect. However, your life will go on the path it's supposed to go, as opposed to the path that you would like it to go.
Hmm.
As far as homeschooling, I'm thoroughly enjoying homeschooling. I know there are some families who are adamantly against it, saying, "Oh, your child to be around other kids and things like that." You have to know what works best for your family. You have to know what works best for your child. And above all else, we have to ensure, our child's safety. So if you are homeschooling your child, make sure, you do get those extracurricular activities in for your children. Make sure when they're learning that they're having fun learning. It's one thing just going through the curriculum. It's another thing when they're understanding it and they're grasping the concept, because not only do they reap the benefits, you reap the benefits, seeing them grow, their character grow. They're not going to always get it right. That's why you're there to guide them. As far as anything health related, take care of your health. I know it's frustrating sometimes having to make appointments, go to the doctor, be seen, do this, but for those things that you can't see internally, let someone else, your doctor, take care of those things for you so you're not having to worry about what is going on in my body. So those are the things I have to say.
Awesome. Well, first of all, I say thank you for inviting me to your home. You have a lovely home, lovely family.
Thank you.
I'm gonna post her information in the description, and also you'll actually see it on the screen as well.
Thank you.
Just remember, nothing changes if nothing changes. God loves you. Let's change together. Thanks for watching.